You're sat there staring at the "You Are Dead" screen as rage is rapidly increasing after you've just died in another gunfight.
This game sucks.
Hello, Survivor. My name is Bean, and today I'll go over a few tips and tricks to help you improve at PvP in DayZ. The best way to learn is to die. It sounds dumb, but trust me, the more you die in PvP encounters, the more you will actually learn. What could you have done differently if you were put in that situation again? For example, in this clip, I was pushing some shots towards Mishkino town. I'd heard multiple shots going off, leading me to believe that there was at least 3 people in the area. One of them walked out in front of me. And then I pushed further down the hill, spotting a second guy in the window of a house. One of them was inside shots, someone's got... Dad? Let's move. He might get up. I don't think I hit him in the face. Could potentially be another one. Let's go and let's go and make sure we actually killed this guy first. I then did a half-assed attempt at a flank. This was my first mistake. I pushed out into the open, leaving myself vulnerable and exposed. No, he was hiding at the fucking shed, I'm dead. No, dude! What did I learn? I should have flanked wider onto the opposite hill, using the dead ground to stay out of the third guy's line of sight. He would have assumed I was still up on this hill, giving me a huge advantage as he was using the house as cover from this hill. Thinking ahead, this one is a bit tricky and you will get better at it with experience. If you're tracking someone or have been watching somebody, trying to predict where they are heading can and will give you a huge advantage. I spotted these 2 guys at Mishkino tents. At first, they looked like they were running straight towards me, but all of a sudden, they disappeared. I thought about the area and what was around us. There's an industrial to my right, but I would have saw them run through this tree line. I didn't see them push back down the hill, and I hadn't seen them cut across the open field to the left towards the summer camp. The only place they could have gone was into Mishkino town. I pushed towards the town and bingo, one of them was having a drink at the well. One's dead. And the other guy was smart, and he was thinking ahead, pushing the same direction as me and knocking me uncon. He sees me. In this clip, this guy was hanging around Mishkino tents. Judging by his movements and how he entered the tents from the south led me to believe that he was going to be heading straight north. So I left and ran to try Cresta, a military checkpoint on the west side of the map, where I held a position to overwatch in hopes he would turn up, but there was no sign. There will be times where you make the wrong choice, and some people's looting patterns and behaviours are very hard to predict. Confidence is very important. When you doubt yourself, this is where mistakes are made. Try and stay as calm as you can. Panicking will not end in your favour. However, being overconfident will get you killed. Like this guy, for example. He had obviously watched me run into the medical building in Starry. His overconfident, careless approach resulted in a trip back to the beach. His first mistake was, he was making a lot of noise, wearing a big bag, heavy military boots, and just seemed oblivious to the amount of noise he was actually making. His second mistake was he assumed that because he was coming at me with an M16, he would automatically win the fight. You can see this by how he just comes in the medical, already aiming down sight, leaning around the corner. This guy is the perfect example of everything not to do in DayZ. A big bag, carrying 6 different guns and tons of pointless crap that he will just never use. Just because you have a big gun, it doesn't mean you're going to win. If you aren't confident using the guns you have, or are relying on them to win for you, it's just a one-way trip back to the beach. Audio is very, very important. It isn't always the case of who saw who first. Going back to this guy, I heard him before I saw him. I have my in-game audio turned all the way up and I use a decent headset, the Logitech G435. That skeleton on the bed just scared the shit out of me. Another EpiPen. Oh, some more codeine. Lovely. Oh shit. Oh shit, dude. There's a fucking stack dude here. Use audio to your advantage. If you get shot at, which direction did it come from? From there, you can predict their next move. For example, this dude shot at me with a Mosin from the wall of the airfield, which was behind me. Now, he could either push into the tree line I was in, push into the open field, which would leave him exposed, or push back into the airfield and use the wall as cover, which is exactly what he did. I hit him. I think he's probably dead. Let's find out. Now he is. Yeah, this is him. You can also use audio to hear what people are carrying. Are they wearing a big bag, carrying guns on their back or in their hands? What kind of shoes are they wearing? You can also listen out for audio cues such as bandaging, eating, drinking, repairing, starving, low health, passing out, and many, many more. Knowing when to be patient and when to be aggressive, some situations you just have to get close and personal. Going back to audio, you can use audio cues to determine if it's a good time to push a player or not. Do they start bandaging? Are they repairing a vest or reloading a mag? If you're fighting a group of players, if you're patient and pick them off one by one, it will allow you to become more aggressive towards the end of a fight, as the remaining players in that team will most likely start panicking. Killed them both! I just killed them both! Hello? Sensitivity is personal preference. If you feel out of control when moving your character around, it's way too high. It's a lot of trial and error to get this just right, and find what you're comfortable with. The last thing you want is to have your sensitivity too high and have the gun flying around all over your screen when aiming at someone, because the slightest movement leaves you pointing up to the sky or in the wrong direction. Keep everything in the same place each life. Keeping things on your hotbar and in your inventory in the same place will help you in intense situations. If you're constantly changing how you set things up, the chances of you pulling out the wrong item are very high and will result in a trip to the beach. Knowing exactly where you've put everything can and will save your life. A lot of the time now, the player will only be uncon. Double tapping to actually make sure they are dead is something that people seem to forget about, and it results in them standing over a body looting before seeing the "you are dead" screen and then wondering what the hell just happened. If they are uncon, you will still see their breath. Once they are dead, their head will normally be turned to the side and there will be a red dot on the pop-up box that appears when you look at them. Using meds during fights is something I honestly don't see a lot of people doing. Using EpiPens to flank, taking codeine and morphine during fights to keep your character moving while you're wounded can play a huge part in your survival. Deathmatch servers are a great way to get used to and learn all the different guns in DayZ, and improve your skills with each one. Learning how to lead your shots when sniping and how to control recoil are super important. I always try to think out loud on stream when I engage in fights so people can understand my thought process during the situation. My brain moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour as I try to work out everything as fast as I possibly can to keep myself alive. Don't allow yourself to become attached to your gear, you will always find more. Focus on trying to actually keep your character alive rather than worrying about losing the loot you are carrying. Here are some extra tips to keep in mind during PvP. Never stand still. Move positions after letting off a shot. Don't loot straight away. Treat every situation like there is one more, because there usually is. All of these tips will help you stay one step ahead, but it takes time and experience to increase these skills. As frustrating as it is when you die in a fight, try to learn something new from each death. What could you have done differently if you were put in that situation again? Eventually, you will win more and more fights. I hope this video helps you out. If it did, slap the subscribe button, click the ding dong and give it a like.